Now that it's the beginning of a new year, I really want to encourage you to learn one of the most powerful skills that will impact your success for the entire year. And that skill is creating new habits. So I'm sure you have a habit you've probably attempted for several years now. Maybe it's exercise or losing weight or eating better or learning something new or decluttering your house. You start the new year with a bang, and then around February or March you end with a whimper. But as much as you want to create that new habit and sustain it, your motivation begins to fade away. At first it's a lot of fun, and then it's a bit challenging, then it gets to be real work, and ultimately it's forgotten. So why does that happen? Well, it has nothing to do with your willpower or your energy. It has to do with your brain chemistry. If you haven't given your brain enough time to rewire itself, to make your habit automatic, and that's what has to happen. You actually have to retrain your brain. This may feel like a catch-22. How can you give your brain enough time to rewire itself if you can't sustain the motivation to give it the time? Well, it comes down to understanding exactly how habits are formed, and this is truly an art and a science. Most of us jump into a new habit full force. We decide we're going to lose weight, so we immediately change our diet, we start exercising, we write down everything we want to eat, we start weighing ourselves. But each one of those changes is comprised of a series of many other smaller habits. Just by deciding to lose weight, you're asking your brain to accommodate 10 or more new habits rather than just one. It's kind of like asking a toddler to pass advanced chemistry. No wonder we give up. So how do we ever accomplish any goal or make any new habit stick for longer than a few weeks? Well, there's a very specific and well-researched method for doing just that, and here are the steps. Step 1, plan before you begin. Before you launch right into your new habit, take several days or a week to plan out your work. Make sure you think through the changes and the adjustments you'll have to make and those close to you will need to make to accommodate this new habit work. Step 2 is starting really small and simple, and this is the most essential step in creating a new habit. If you want to lose weight, for example, pick one small thing like changing your diet, and then break that down into something even smaller like adding more veggies to your diet or something like that. Then break that down into adding one more green vegetable at dinner. This is especially important if you've been unsuccessful in adding habits to your life in the past. Starting with a really small habit will allow you to practice the method successfully before you tackle bigger habits. Step 3, create habits one at a time. Don't try to tackle several new habits at once. Start with one habit and work on it until it becomes completely automatic for you before you begin working on another. This could take anywhere from 6 weeks to 3 months depending on the difficulty and size of the habit. Step 4, have a trigger. Now, a trigger is something you do to remind you to do your habit, and your new habit should immediately follow the trigger. So a trigger should be a well-established habit you already have that you do regularly, like brushing your teeth. Attaching your new habit to one that's already established helps you reinforce the new habit and reminds you to do it. Step 5, make it easy. When you first begin a new habit, begin by doing that habit for a short period of time, 5 minutes only. This might sound too easy, but believe me, this 5-minute rule is really important. In the first week or two of your new habit, you're establishing the routine and fitting this new action into your life. Sticking to 5 minutes, even if you feel like you could go longer, makes it so easy you won't feel resistant to doing it. Then once you feel the habit is becoming automatic, slowly increase your time. Step 6, create public accountability. Many of us don't tell others when we begin a new habit because we don't want to be embarrassed if we fail. But public accountability can be a great motivator. So announce your new habit on Facebook or other social media, or email all of your friends and let them know. Then create a daily system of reporting progress to all of these people. Step 7, have a support system. So in addition to having accountability, you need positive support and encouragement to keep you motivated and engaged in that habit work, especially when you start to get bored or tired of doing the work. And you can set this up with a close friend or a family member. There's so many great ways to find support through forums online where you can meet other people who might even be working on the same habit. And then finally, step 8, reward yourself. Give yourself a small reward after you finish that habit work, immediately following the habit work. It could be anything from a piece of chocolate to putting a gold star on your calendar, whatever feels like a reward for you. Give that to yourself after your habit. And if that reward feels rote, then change it up and do something different. You know, creating sustainable habits isn't easy, but if you do these simple steps and stick to them, you'll create habits for a lifetime.